Right, YouTube. It is Mr. Mean coming at you this fine Monday evening. It's been a crazy day. I had to do a lot of driving today. I am dead beat, but I wanted to get a video out because you guys deserve it, and there is no me without you because, as always, you guys rock, and I want to thank you for being subscribers or just watching my video. Either way, click that like and subscribe button. Really helps the channel. Tell your friends about the channel if you like tabletop RPG reviews and you want to see games that usually aren't covered, by the big channels. I'm your guy. So today's video du jour is one that I found at Gamehole Con. I was there about 3, 4 weeks ago, and I had a blast. My hair is all over the place, guys. I apologize. I had a blast. Of course, I came back and got COVID. I did whip out a video right after I got back from Gamehole Con on Monday, and I sounded horrible. I just did an interview with Angelo from Nightfall Games, or the name of the studio is Nightfall. But anyway, you could hear it in my voice there still. So I'm actually feeling a lot better, and I'm doing better. So I've been reading this. I've been really enjoying it. And the game is Carbon Gray by West End Games. Now, it's actually put out by Magnetic Press Play. And you can find them at magneticpressplay.com. I'll put links down in the doobly doo after the video. But if you're curious, West End Games, this uses and wait for it, because I know there's going to be a lot of meanies out there that are like, Mr. Mean, you hate D6 games. You're right. I usually do. I'm not a fan of most D6 games. But in this case, I do like this one. And I'm thoroughly enjoying reading it. I gotta move my mic here. I'm sorry, guys. There we go. I gotta angle it down a little bit more so it picks me up. First of all, you'll notice I picked this up at Gamehole Con. There was the gentleman there from the company from Magnetic Press. They are actually like an art house publishing graphics arts studio company, but they do dip their toes into RPGs. They got the license for Carbon Gray, and a couple of years ago it was a Kickstarter. And I remember seeing the art and thinking, wow, this looks really cool. And then I read the rules, they had a primer, and I read the rules, and it was a D6 system. And I'm just not a fan of D6 systems, and for the most part. That being said, I did not like it when I first read it, and that's not really fair to Carbon Gray because I didn't give it a fair shot. It's really hard to know whether or not you're going to like an RPG, tabletop RPG, if you can't play it. I mean, you can read the rules all you want. Some people can make that determination. I am not one of them. I need to play the game. So a lot of times what I'll do is if I'm looking at an RPG that I want to add to my collection, a lot of times I'll make characters, because for me that's a great way to learn the system. I learn by doing, and then I'll do a mock combat and see how the rules work and how they interplay. And it's not going to tell me everything about the game, of course, but it's going to give me a good idea. Um, and I didn't do that with this. And I had the quick play rules. I had downloaded them from the Kickstarter. I just saw it was a D6. It was the WEG, West End Games D6, and I was like, nope. And I blew it off. But I was at Gamehole Con, a month ago, roughly a month ago, and I saw it there, and I felt the book, and it's got a nice textured cover. You can hear it, and it's got this kind of gloss and matte finish on it. The Carbon Gray words are glossy, as you can see the reflection, but the corners were rounded, which really caught my eye. And the guy from Magnetic Press Play told me all their books are like that. Any book they release will have rounded covers. That is their signature. And they're right. I don't see too many other RPGs with rounded covers. So while it is the West End Games where you're chucking, a shit ton of D6s, it is the Magnetic Press Play variant, and that's what they call it on the back, the D6 MV for magnetic version. And it's slightly different. They've toned down the attributes and the skills to a little bit more manageable level. and it seems like it's going to work. I will tell you, from reading the intro and of course flipping through and looking at the art, it is a coffee table book. It is beautiful. Me holding up pictures of it, me holding up pictures of it is not going to do it justice. But the art in here is very evocative of the setting. This is a fantasy world that is basically akin to the 19th century World War One, and they're kind of stuck in that loop with magic and psionics being available, and the different factions. So it's not the U.S. and Russia or anything like that. This is its own setting in an alternate world, and with a somewhat similar World War One vibe, but the battle hasn't ended. It's been going for years, and there's basically monsters and things that go bump in the night. It's a really unique setting. I don't know if Carbon Gray is a series of novels that they turned into maybe a graphic novel, and then they got inspiration to make the role playing game. I'm not sure. I don't know the history of this game. I just remember seeing it as a Kickstarter, and I saw it was WEG, and I was like, nope, I don't have any desire for that. Um, and then when I saw this at Gamehole Con, the cover just really grabbed me, and I was like, there is just something about this that really, it's speaking to me, in the rounded corners and the textured cover, the cool art on the back of a hand holding a stone. I don't couldn't even tell you what the significance there is, but I've been reading it. It's one I do kind of, to be honest, I want to get it to the table and I want to see how it plays. Um, and then, of course, I was looking at the art style and everything inside the book, and it really kind of grabbed me, and I couldn't figure out why. I was like, there is something about this art that really speaks to me, and it's really cool. The layout of the book is fantastic, if I can get that without a glare. The layout of the book is really good. Like I said, the art is nice. The way they section stuff up, I mean, look at that. Tell me that's not a cool picture right there. Um, so I was just blown away, and the more I was reading it, the more I wanted to read it, and I'm still wanting to read it. I just haven't had time. Uh, but there was just something about the book, and it didn't dawn on me until tonight when I was getting ready to make this video. The graphic designer is Jared Earl, and I'm like, I know that name. And then I kept reading, and it's Nightfall Games. That's the guys who do Slay. That's Slay Industries. Jared Earl is one of the bigwigs behind Nightfall Games and Slay Industries, which go back in a doobly doo, watch the reviews. I love Slay. I love Slay First Edition, and I love the reprint of Slay. I think they've done a phenomenal job with it. In fact, I've kickstarted all the books that they've done for Slay because I like it that much. Now, they haven't done anything new. They're kind of focusing on other games in their repertoire, which is fine. But I only like the Slay. I don't like Terminator and the other games that they're doing. So this is a D6 dice pool game. Modifiers. If you've played West End games, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, you know, any of their other games, which escape me at the moment, you're going to be right at home. It is a slightly different system with the magnetic variant, which I do like because you're not rolling as many d6s. So they've changed the mechanic a little bit. They've streamlined a lot of the skills. The attributes, I believe they streamlined the attributes too. Let me see if there's a character sheet here. So you have dex, knowledge, mechanics, personality, strength, and will. And then under those is two, four, six, about six, about six skills. Yeah. So each attribute has six skills. That's it. That's all the skills there are in the game. Each attribute has six skills. You've got six attributes. Six times six is 36. You got 36 skills in the game. That's it. Um, and it, like I said, it has magic powers. It has some other weird things that make it a very unique setting. Um, there is uh, there is profiles in here, unit profiles for NPCs galore. Because, like I said, remember this is a game set in a perpetual World War One, where this is huge empire like the European Empire versus the Axis Empire, but they're not called that. They're different. You know, it's its own setting, reminiscent of World War One and that trench warfare. But there's fantasy elements. There's like the Fae and the natural creatures, and it's just really well written. So, like I said, if you guys know if this is taken from a novel or a graphic novel, let me know. Put a link down in the doobly doo, and so I can go, because I think I would like to read more about this. I am going to try to crack through this a little bit more and read it. I'm going to try to see if my Saturday night group wants to play it, because I think it would be at least fun for a one shot. Maybe if the whole group can't make it one night, I'll do a one shot of this. Uh, I need to go to their website. To be honest, I haven't been to their website yet. It's on my list of things to do. And I want to check and see if they have like a bunch of pre generated characters. Like I said, it was a Kickstarter, there was a box set, it came with some plastic miniatures, and a game board and everything. It was made to be, you could play it kind of like a tabletop game, but it was really a role playing game. But it did come with all the accoutrements that kind of reminded me of a tabletop game, which was another reason that I was kind of turned off from the Kickstarter. I just wasn't into that, RPG style tabletop game. It didn't appeal to me like a board game. But the art in here is fantastic. Is this a good um, is this a good addition to your collection? Well, if you're like me and you collect RPGs, yes. If you're a fan of non-standard RPGs such as Pathfinder or D&D, yes, this is if nothing else, if you're a GURPS guy, this would be great source material for GURPS. And with all the different source books out there for GURPS, you could run this in GURPS with no problem, and just use all the world setting, which would be super easy. There's nothing in here that I would say you can't do in GURPS completely. Uh, or even mutants and masterminds. You could really do it in mutant. Believe it or not, you could do superpowers because there's a lot of powers and trained soldiers and stuff. So you could buy this book for the world setting and use probably your favorite RPG. Semi-modern to a generic universal system like Savage Worlds. This would work perfectly in. So I don't want to babble on too much. I think I've said everything I want to say. The art is fantastic. Of course, it's done by Jared Earl of Nightfall Games. Uh, the layout and the design, they use a lot of drab olive greens and grays. Kind of reminiscent of old World War One um, aesthetics, and it really just hits home. The inside map on the inside cover and back cover is amazing. It's really nicely done. Um, the rounded corners again just get me, because you don't have to worry about ding covers. This is in pristine condition. I could have bought the box set at the convention, but they still wanted like 130 for it, and I was like, no, you need to do a better break. I did get a discount on this. This was $39.99, and I think they let me have it for 30. Um, but I wanted to do a little review. I think it's a buy in my book, if nothing else, for the esoteric setting that is just kind of out there with the magic and that thing that goes bump in the night, so to speak, and in the World War One aesthetic. There's something really unique about it. There's these giant wolves that are like natural, and like their habitats being destroyed, so they're fighting back against everybody. It's crazy. There's a lot of cool stuff in here, a lot of tropes to draw from. Um, it's your standard WEG system, slightly modified with what they call the magnetic variant, the D6 magnetic variant, or D6MV. I think it's worth giving it a try. So I'll try to remember to put a link down in the doobly doo to the website. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Do you have it already? Did you back it on Kickstarter? Are you ecstatic with it? Do you love your purchase? Are you happy? I did look at the box set. I thought the models looked really nice, and it's a couple years old now. It's like 3, 4, maybe 5 years. I think it came out in 2019, 2018, maybe a little sooner, but not much. I thought the models looked really nice. I'm not into that board game aesthetic of an RPG. I use digital maps, even in my home game. So setting up a board game with, I do use physical 3D miniatures. So I have a 3D resin printer. So, and I think with the vibe they're going with that World War One aesthetic, finding STLs for like, World War One tanks and stuff like that, and walkers and things like is not hard at all. So really cool. Add it to your library. Let me know what you think. If you backed the Kickstarter, how did they handle the Kickstarter? Did you get your stuff on time? Are you happy with it? Let me know. Because I may, if I see it at another local convention, I may pick up the box set depending on what you guys tell me. So I hope you found this information useful. Um, if the art grabbed you, pick up a copy. I'll put links down in the doobly doo. Again, it's magneticpressplay.com. So go check them out. Let me know what you think. Tell them Mr. Mean sent you if you buy something. And as always, I would invite you to like and subscribe, watch the video, tell your friends. It helps the algorithm, the almighty algorithm from YouTube. And I'm gonna try to get back on schedule, putting a video out a week. Content is king, and I've seen that my viewership has kind of dropped off a little bit because I've been sometimes waiting 3 weeks and a month between videos, and that's just unacceptable. And that's my personal life is busy, guys. And I think everybody knows I have an autistic child, and as he's getting older, he's requiring more and more care. Um, So, we got to do what we got to do. But I still feel that I owe you guys an obligation to bring you reviews and talk about these indie RPGs that, while not as big as Pathfinder or D&D or, GURPS, still need a voice. And I think I've chosen myself to be that voice. So if this is a game you like, or if there's a certain other indie game you want to see, reach out to the publisher, give them my link. If they send me a copy of the game, I will review it. My opinions are my own. They can't buy that. I try to be honest in my reviews. And if you find that intriguing and you like the content, hit that like button. And better yet, hit that subscribe button. And if you really want to support the channel, you can send me donations on Ko-Fi or buy me a coffee, or you can become a monthly Patreon member for $5 a month. That's all I charge. And every so often I do drawings where I have extra copies of books or whatever, and I send them out. Also have a very active Discord. And you can go on there and ask them, hey, is the Patreon worth it? And my Patreons will tell you, and they'll be honest. So again, not looking to break the bank here or anything. $5 a month for the content is pretty cool, and a chance to win a free book RPG is pretty cool. As always, peace and hair grease. Like and subscribe, and remember, Mr. Mean says to be nice. You guys have a great one.